Okay, we have a tale of two markets here. Welcome to the free video. And you can see when the squeeze fired here, this is probably the most incredible move I've ever seen off of a daily chart in terms of a percentage move, and that it can't even break its rising 5-period EMA. So you can just feel the shorts screaming there. It's pretty amazing. And then compare this to, kind of the stocks that we all know and love and have been trading, like Apple. There's this feeling that, since Apple had a great move here, that it's always going to have a great move. Or more in my own backyard here. I mean, obviously, I loves me some Tesla, but, we had some nice squeezes here. We had a beautiful squeeze here and run into a stock split. But after that, now the float's increased 5 times and it's just doing nothing. And so it's important to realize that stock personalities change and that you've got to kind of change with it and not continue to apply either your will, try to impose your will on a particular stock and a particular strategy when that moves. So if, like I do, you like moves like this, guess what? The fact that it happened to be Tesla is great, but this situation happens all the time, but it doesn't happen in the same stock. And in fact, it rarely happens twice in the same stock. Tesla's kind of an exception to that. So when you get what I just call, it's a maximum pain point concentrated move. In this case, you had short covering, all that kind of stuff. You had a low float. You get that combined for a much, much greater than expected move. That's where the money is made. But that's not where we are now. Yes, there's earnings coming up and stuff like that too. But if you keep applying the same strategies where you're buying out of the money YOLO calls here and making mint and trying that here, it's going to be different, right? So remember, in this kind of a situation, we want to focus on protecting what we have. And then from there, looking at things that are setting up that frankly are manageable, that are going to work in this kind of environment. So what I like here, well, semis here on a daily chart, they've had a nice run, so they're kind of ending that. They're a little bit of a gasp here, but what we can do is start going through and just taking a look and saying, okay, we've got Nvidia here. It's kind of coming down. We have a 30-minute squeeze setting up, and ultimately on something like this, where we've got a daily chart at the 21 and then a 30-minute chart here, and kind of a rounded bottom here, is that ultimately, is this something that we're going to see kind of pop up to new highs, or is it going to roll over and die? Well, the nice thing is when you have a 30-minute squeeze and you aren't sure, you can apply strategies that are less risky and they're not as directional. So one of my favorite things to do here is not necessarily buy a straddle. That's where you're buying, like, say, a delta 30 put and then a delta 30 call, and then you're hoping for a big move either way. And what you do instead is you buy an iron condor instead of selling one. So you'd buy the delta 30 put and then sell the delta 10. That brings down your cost quite a bit. Buy the delta 30 call, sell the delta 10. Do it like 2 weeks out, probably after the election, frankly. And then that's something where you're not really, because the odds of it going sideways here are pretty low. We're building up this energy, we're building up this uncertainty, and it's going to have to go one way or another. So those are the kind of trades I like in this environment. Remember, the next 2 weeks are going to be different. The next 3 weeks are going to be different. The best thing you can do is look at your account right now and say, at the very least, I want my same account balance now 3 weeks from now. Yeah, it'd be great if it's higher, but what would suck is if it drops by 20% or drops by 30% and you piddle away a lot of chips doing things that don't make sense in this particular market. All right. So anyway, hope that helps. You guys have a good one, and we'll see you at the next update.